E3 2016 Sony panel. First party Sony developer Insomnia Games revealed their next flagship title, जो one of the most beloved and popular superhero based है. एक ऐसा कैरेक्टर जिसके लास्ट फ्यू गेम्स काफ़ी हिट एंड मिस थे, with mediocre to bad reception. So Spider-Man getting a proper AAA title from a well-known first-party Sony developer एक काफ़ी big deal थी, especially after Activision जो 2000 से 2014 तक Spider-Man and many Marvel character-related games के license holder थे. And after almost 2 years of wait, on September 7th, 2018, Marvel's Spider-Man released exclusively for PlayStation 4 with massive critical and commercial success. In June 2020, Insomnia Games revealed Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, एक spin-off title based on the adventures of Miles Morales, जो set है a year after the events of Marvel's Spider-Man. Just like its predecessor, Miles Morales एक critical and commercial success था, and both Marvel's Spider-Man and Miles Morales best Spider-Man game and some of the best superhero games के strong contenders हैं, with critics praising both games for narrative, graphics, gameplay, and traversal mechanics, but criticized for Ubisoft-esque open-world design. In the end, Insomnia Games का Spider-Man universe एक huge success है, with Insomniac already developing a sequel and एक Wolverine game set in the same universe, जिसके लिए मैं काफ़ी excited हूँ because the last Wolverine game we got was X-Men Origins Wolverine, जो एक great movie tie-in and in general एक great God of War clone था. But for now, let's focus on Spider-Man. Since मैं so-called PC Master Race का एक member हूँ, I had to wait for the PC ports. But it was definitely worth it because both PC ports surprisingly good हैं with good optimization, a lot of graphical features and DualSense support. But I hope Sony future में wireless haptic feedback and adaptive triggers PC में add करें. So in general, Marvel's Spider-Man and Miles Morales heavily narrative and checklist-based open-world third-person action-adventure games हैं in the vein of older Spider-Man and Batman Arkham games, जिनमें हमारे friendly neighborhood wall crawlers different open-world activities and main story में participate करते हैं. Both games एक काफ़ी standard open-world template का use करते हैं, similar to recent AAA open-world games like The Witcher 3, Assassin's Creed, Horizon games and other open-world titles. But ये both games इस template के some of the better examples में से एक हैं with higher quality side content, especially in Marvel's Spider-Man. Both games New York City के Manhattan region में set हैं, beautifully crafted with meticulous details and Easter eggs from the wider Marvel universe. The city feels alive with the hustle and bustle of cars and citizens, जिसमें sound design एक big part play करता है, the sounds of vehicles, surrounding areas and NPC chatters. एंड स्पाइडरमैन न्यूयॉर्क के सिटीजन्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट भी कर सकते हैं, चाहे वो एक सिंपल ग्रीटिंग हो या फिर साइड क्वेस्ट रिगार्डिंग देयर प्रॉब्लम्स. ऑल दिस डिटेल्स एंड इंट्रैक्शंस मैनहट्टन को एक काफ़ी इमर्सिव फीलिंग देते हैं एंड एक डिस्टिंक्ट एटमोसफेयर जो काफ़ी स्पाइडरमैन-एस्क है, लाइक समथिंग आउट ऑफ रेमी ट्रिलॉजी. इट फील्स गुड टू ट्रेवर्स द कॉन्क्रीट जंगल ऑफ न्यूयॉर्क, स्पेशली विद द न्यू ट्रेवर्सल सिस्टम जो काफ़ी सिमिलर है स्पाइडरमैन 2 से, विद वैप्स अटैचिंग टू द बिल्डिंग्स, वॉल रनिंग, Purge launch, air tricks, जो surprisingly missing थी ever since Spider-Man 3, the easy to learn and hard to master nature of web swinging, ये काफ़ी easy to control है even in tight corners thanks to the controls, जिसमें players को right trigger को hold करना होता है while controlling the movement with left stick. Spider-Man को mid swing control करना काफ़ी easy and responsive है, much more than any of the previous games. Indeed, a great and fun traversal system further improved in Miles Morales, जिसमें हमें new air tricks देखने को मिलती है, pretty much turning the game into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And Miles की Venom powers जिन्हें web swinging में भी use किया जा सकता है to reach even greater heights. In my opinion, ये definitely the best web swing systems हैं in any of the Spider-Man games. But it can be improved further by adjusting the swing speed to be a bit faster, similar to Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and adding options like wall climbing to reach higher altitudes and even faster and such. I adore web swinging in both of these games because ये genuinely एक fun experience है mixed with the atmosphere of New York City, especially in Miles Morales due to the winter season. And the memorable music जो both Peter and Miles को एक distinct feeling देता है, जिसमें Peter की theme काफ़ी traditional Spider-Man theme है and Miles की more upbeat raps and whatever teenagers listen to these days. Combat-wise, both games great adaptation have free flow combat का, जो now industry standard है for these kind of games. But Spider-Man differentiates itself in many ways. The basic combat काफ़ी simple and straightforward है, एंड अनलाइक बैटमैन आर्कम्स फ्री फ्लो कॉम्बैट, ये बोथ गेम्स मोर स्ट्राइक एंड डॉज बेस्ड हैं एंड नॉट कम्प्लीटली फ्री फ्लो, बट ये डेफिनेटली उस कॉम्बैट स्टाइल को एज एन बेस यूज़ करते हैं. सो वी हैव और सिंगल अटैक एंड डॉज स्लैश काउंटर बटन जो बोथ स्ट्राइक एंड एनिमीज़ को एयर में लॉन्च करने के काम आता है. डॉज बटन एक्टिव डॉजेज एंड एनिमी अटैक्स को काउंटर करने के काम आता है. वन बटन फॉर वेब स्ट्राइक एंड वेब पुल. टू साइमल्टेनियस बटन प्रेसेस फॉर स्पेशल अटैक, वेब पुल एंड डॉज, एंड वन जंप बटन. बोथ पीटर एंड माइल्स का बेस कॉम्बैट pretty much सेम है विद सेम मूव्स बट डिफरेंट एनिमेशंस. चाहे हम बात करें बेसिक अटैक्स एंड थ्रोस की या फिर स्पेशल मूव्स, दे वर्क pretty much the same. Animations for both of the games silky smooth हैं for both combat and traversal, and it's a great showcase of Miles and Peter's differences in their experience and personality. The thing जो both characters को gameplay wise differentiate करती है वो है gadgets and venom powers. Peter in this universe अपनी early and mid 20s में है, working with Dr. Otto Octavius as his assistant. And with his intellect, over the last 8 years as Spider-Man, Peter ने many gadgets create किए हैं to help him in his crime fighting. गेम में टोटल 8 गैजेट्स हैं इंक्लूडिंग वेब शूटर्स जिन्हें प्लेयर्स कॉम्बैट एंड पजल सॉल्विंग के लिए यूज़ करते हैं. सम ऑफ द वेब बेस्ड गैजेट्स लाइक इम्पैक्ट वेब, वेब बॉम्ब, इलेक्ट्रिक वेब एंड ट्रिप माइन काफ़ी यूज़फुल हैं इन बोथ स्टेल्थ एंड कॉम्बैट, सिंस वेब्स इन दिस गेम फाइनली कॉम्बैट में यूज़फुल है बिकॉज वो एनिमीज़ को वॉल्स, लैम्पोस्ट एंड अदर ऑब्जेक्ट से स्टिक करने काम आती है, eliminating them from the combat at once. Other gadgets like Spider Drone काफ़ी overpowered है after upgrading it, and Concussive Blast and Suspension Matrix काफ़ी cool concepts है जिन्हें other gadgets के साथ use करने पर काफ़ी great results मिलते हैं. But on their own, I personally don't find them very useful other than executing air combos or pushing people off buildings जो काफ़ी situation based हैं. Miles also has some gadgets, 4 in total, web shooters, holodrone जो enemies को distract करने के काम आते हैं, remote mine and gravity well जो other than web shooters Miles का most useful gadget है. इन gadgets को upgrade भी किया जा सकता है by using tokens acquired by completing many different activities, like challenge tokens for completing combat stealth and traversal challenges, backpack tokens / time capsules by finding backpacks and type capsules in the open world, जो वो दस tokens and Peter and Miles के पास के मोमेंटोस हैं, working as lore related tidbits to explain the past of the Spider-Man and expanding this universe. Research tokens acquired by completing research station missions, science mini games and pigeon collection, जो basically एक collection है different mini games का. Base tokens for clearing out enemy bases, landmark tokens acquired by taking pictures of many of the New York City landmarks, and crime tokens earned by completing random city crimes. Other than gadget upgrades, ये tokens suit and suit mods unlock करने के लिए भी यूज़ होते हैं, giving players incentive to play the side content, especially city crimes जो previous games में just a random activity थी with no real reason to do them. Also, talking about suits, there are so many of them. चाहे हम बात करें fan favorites की, movie based suits की, या फिर some obscure suits from the comics, there's a ton of variety and most of the suits काफ़ी great looking हैं. चाहे हम बात करें इंसोम्निया के क्लासिक सूट्स की या फिर द एडवांस सूट जो जनरली एक ग्रेट अपडेट है क्लासिक सूट की विद इट्स ओन यूनिक टच टू इट, एंड इट्स सरप्राइजिंग कि कितनी जल्दी ये सूट स्पाइडरमैन फैन बेस में पॉपुलर हुआ है, एज वी कैन ऑलरेडी सी इट इन दी अक्रॉस द स्पाइडरवर्स ट्रेलर. और दैन दी मेन सूट्स, मुझे मार्क 4 स्पाइडर आर्मर काफ़ी पसंद है बिकॉज ये बेसिकली क्लासिक सूट का एक वेरिएंट है इन शाइनी मेटालिक लुक जो काफ़ी कूल लगता है, बट I'm not fond of the green lights, though for Miles, the overall quantity of the suits low है compared to Peter. Gave him many cool suits like a classic and armored classic suit, 2099 suit with its cool looking eye effects, Into the Spider-Verse suit with the low frame effect from the movie, the Ant suit, Crimson suit, animated suit and few others. But some of the suits variation have classic suit के with some minor differences like winter or college clothing on top of the classic suits and such. But playing on PC has its advantages जो हैं community mods. Both of the games को PC में launch हुए सिर्फ कुछ ही months हुए हैं and we already have so many high quality suit mods. More accurate and faithful movie suit mods से लेकर highly detailed suits from comics and previous Spider-Man games. Many of the mods in-game model से भी हायर क्वालिटी के हैं एंड सिर्फ कॉस्ट्यूम बेस्ड मॉड्स के अलावा कम्युनिटी ने मैनी ग्राफिकल एंड एनिमेशन मॉड्स भी क्रिएट किए हैं, कम्प्लीटली चेंजिंग द टोन एंड फील ऑफ द गेम. मैंने पर्सनली अभी तक इन मॉड्स को यूज़ नहीं किया है बट आई विल डेफिनेटली डू दैट इन फ्यूचर प्ले थ्रूज. Other than just looks, most of the suits gameplay advantages भी provide करते हैं through suit powers, and there are tons of them, like electric punch, quad damage, web blossom, resupply, battle focus, iron arms, and many others. ये powers suit specific हैं, but once unlocked, players इन्हें other suits में भी use कर सकते हैं. And there are other passive mods to use जो stat boost या फिर other passive buffs provide करते हैं. Now this was a big detour, so let us get back on track. So the biggest things जो पीटर एंड माइल्स के गेम प्ले को डिफ्रेंशिएट करते हैं वो हैं पीटर का गैजेट प्ले एंड सूट पावर्स. समथिंग जो माइल्स के लिए मोस्टली अनअवेलेबल है विद ओनली 4 डिफरेंट गैजेट्स एंड नो सूट पावर्स एट ऑल. बट माइल्स हैज़ हिज ओन यूनिक एबिलिटी जो है वैनम पावर, एंड बॉय दे आर फन टू यूज. The spider that bit Miles gave him some special abilities like camouflage and venom powers made out of bioelectricity. माइल्स अपनी वैनम पावर्स को यूज़ कर मल्टीपल एनिमीज़ को स्टैगर एंड इनकेपेसिटेट कर सकता है, sending them flying through the venom punch, area of effect damage with venom blast, venom launch for easy air attacks, and a few others. There are not that many attacks, but all of them are useful and fun to use, and not to forget how cool they look. Other than combat and traversal, both games का third gameplay pillar has stealth, and it's fine, I guess. Most of the stealth gameplay previous Spider-Man and Ark games की तरह work करता है with some added depth through gadgets. But being Spider-Man, it's very easy to cheese these sections since players pretty much every direction से enemies को take down कर सकते हैं, and adding gadgets and camouflage on top of that makes them even easier. Plus there is not much penalty for failing these stealth sections since a player can easily defeat the enemies. मार्वल स्पाइडरमैन में कुछ ऐसे सेक्शंस भी हैं जिनमें हमें माइल्स एंड एमजे को कंट्रोल करना होता है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दीज इंस्टेंट फेल स्टाइल सेक्शंस हैं. While both of the characters have their gimmicks, ये sections more tedious हैं than anything else. I don't hate them like rest of the community, and I really like the Grand Central section जहाँ players को Spider-Man को guide करना होता है through MJ's perspective. But there are a bit too many of these sections and they drag the pacing of the game's overall story. Also, I wanted to talk about boss fights but didn't know where to put this section, so here we go. Boss fights in these games, especially in Marvel Spider-Man, काफ़ी gimmicky and simple हैं. Most of these fights spectacles हैं more than anything else, जहाँ fights एक काफ़ी simple pattern follow करती हैं, like dodge enemy attacks, then hitting them with an object, and then attacking them. Some fights like Mr. Negative and Electro and Vulture are fun, and the ending boss एक great emotional investment and spectacle है, working as a great finale to the story. But other than some fights, I didn't like most of them. Miles Morales has better bosses like Rhino, Prowler and Tinkerer because ये mostly 1v1 confrontations हैं with more player skills, especially the Tinkerer fight, and not big budget AAA level spectacles. So boss fights काफ़ी hit and miss हैं, and I hope they will improve this aspect of the game in sequel. So these are the 3 gameplay pillars of Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales: traversal, combat, and stealth. Each one of these are great and fun but can be improved further, especially combat and stealth, because traversal is already amazing by the point we reach Miles Morales. But मैं ये देखने में interested हूँ कि कैसे Insomniac पीटर के traversal को improve करेंगे, and if Symbiote will play any part into it. Combat and stealth can be improved by a lot, especially mid-air combat जो a bit too simple and lacking है. While both games के combat and stealth mechanics काफ़ी solid and fun हैं, they definitely get boring by the midpoint, despite all of the skills, gadgets and abilities. And personally मैं each and every fight को as soon as possible end करना चाहता था, so I can experience this amazing story. I don't know, I think just prefer more flashy and in-depth combat of Web of Shadows compared to more realistic and grounded approach. But no one is saying it should be this grounded, and honestly nowadays free flow combat काफ़ी safe feel होता है because it is. It worked amazingly for Batman and even in previous Spider-Man games, so इसे change करने का एक big reason नहीं है because in the end ये काफ़ी solid, fun and easy to approach system है जो much more appealing है to the wider audience, gamer or not, which is a good thing in itself because even my 13-year-old cousin can play this game, but I think I want much more than what we have. something जो more in depth है, not just through the use of different gameplay mechanics like gadgets, but base hand-to-hand combat. Because as proven by Web of Shadows, Spider-Man can be much more than just a variation of free-flow combat. Story-wise, I loved Marvel Spider-Man and was bored by Miles Morales. The character writing for both games, at least for the main and some of the supporting characters like Peter, Miles, MJ, Yuri, Black Cat, Martin Lee, Aunt May, and Dr. Octavius, great hai. And I love all of these characters interacting with each other. Especially the relationship between Peter and MJ, because currently मैं अपनी लाइफ के ऐसे फेज में हूँ जहाँ मैं both characters का पर्सपेक्टिव काफ़ी अच्छे समझ सकता हूँ and why things are not working properly between them. Both Martin Lee and Dr. Octavius sympathetic villains हैं and seeing the kind of redemption arc for Martin Lee and the downfall of Dr. Octavius to Dr. Octopus was great. The overall story structure काफ़ी simple है. गेम में 2 मेजर प्लॉट्स हैं. फर्स्ट वन अबाउट मार्टिन ली, जिसमें वो ऑस्कॉप से अपने पास्ट में हुए ट्रैजिक इवेंट की वजह से बदला लेना चाहता है. एंड द अदर वन विद डॉक्टर ऑक्टेवियस, जिसमें ऑक्टेवियस एंड पीटर एक न्यू टैग पर वर्क करते हैं टू हेल्प डिसेबल्ड पीपल. बट नॉर्मन ऑसबॉर्न उनके प्रोजेक्ट को बंद करने की कोशिश करता है, स्टार्टिंग द डाउनफॉल ऑफ ऑक्टेवियस. माइल्स मोरालेस इस सेम स्टोरी ट्रोप का यूज़ करता है फॉर इट्स मेन एंटेगनिस्ट, बट नॉट सो सक्सेसफुली बिकॉज फिन इज़ अ हॉरेबल पर्सन जिसके लिए सिंपैथेटिक फील करना इम्पॉसिबल है, एंड आई डोंट इवन लाइक हर कैरेक्टर इन एनी वे. सो टू पुट इट सिंपली, द स्टोरी एंड कैरेक्टर राइटिंग फॉर मार्वल स्पाइडरमैन amazing. For Miles Morales, mediocre. Also, I forget to mention Marvel's Spider-Man DLC story, The City That Never Sleeps. It was boring. I loved Black Cat and Yuri's story character arc, and can't wait to see कि Insomniac Yuri character साथ क्या करने वाले हैं in the sequel. So overall, I love this iteration of Spider-Man and the universe Insomniac created, because he काफ़ी authentic and true to character है with their own unique spin to it. And I can't wait to see what they do with Venom and Kraven, because there's a lot of potential. And I personally hope कि वो Kraven's Last Hunt storyline को adapt करे, since one of the best and darkest Spider-Man stories में से एक है. So Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Morales objectively good to amazing games हैं. And there's no doubt about it कि Marvel Spider-Man the best overall Spider-Man game है. Despite some of my nitpick and flaws, both games Spider-Man fans के लिए must play हैं, because ये some of the best Spider-Man medias में से एक है. And I can't wait to see what Insomniac does with the sequel, both gameplay and story wise. And can we please see a crossover with the Wolverine game? I would absolutely love it, but it's long ways off. For now, it's end of our little Spider-Man game marathon, जिसमें हमने कुछ amazing, mediocre and hidden gems को experience किया and shared our love for the character. मैं future में definitely some of the left out games के बारे में बात करूँगा. For now, let's end this journey. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe and share करना मत भूलना, because I honestly need to get those subscribers numbers up so I can monetize my channel. And वीडियो देखने के लिए धन्यवाद. आपका दिन शुभ हो.